after week after week, like 9 times week after week, of losing, the 49ers win and improve to 1-9. That sure sounds a heck of a lot better than 0-10, doesn't it? Yes, it does. The bye week has finally arrived, which means it's report card time. Now, you might think this one would be easy, that everyone would get an F. But no, in a rebuild, there's nuance. So let's take a look. Today, we are going to start with the offense. It's had a lot of ups and downs. Let's start with the offensive line. The offensive line has, at times, been just that, offensive. In the 5 games that CJ Beathard has played in, he has been sacked 16 times, and he's been hit like 100. Maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe I'm not. Brian Hoyer did not fare much better. However, with Joe Staley back at his rightful place at left tackle, the other day CJ was not sacked and he was only hit twice, which helped the offensive line get extra credit and finish this half of the season with a D+. Next up, let's take a look at the run game. The San Francisco running game has actually been pretty decent, especially considering those offensive line issues I just talked about. Carlos Hyde currently has 592 yards on 141 carries and 4 touchdowns. In addition to that, he has 274 receiving yards. He is clearly a very integral part of this offense. Add in Matt Breida's 219 yards on 52 carries, and he got his first rushing touchdown the other day. Kyle Juszczyk has proven to be a good blocker, but he has trouble holding onto the football. Therefore, I'm giving this group a B-. Next up, receivers. This is a really tough one to grade given injuries and the very tough start to the season at quarterback. Holding on to the football seems to be the biggest problem for this group, so I'm just going to go ahead and give them a C. Now let's start with potentially the most interesting position of all on this team, quarterback. The Brian Hoyer era, if you can call it that, was pretty much a disaster. So I'm going to start grading post-Hoyer. We'll take a look at CJ Beathard. Beathard has been very up and down, mainly down, but he did prove the other day that given some protection and some time to throw, he can be a decent quarterback. I know he was playing the Giants, but let's give it to the guy. He's been getting beat up out there. He is tough as nails and mature beyond his years. Kyle Shanahan says that he tunes out the noise, and you can absolutely see it. So you know what, CJ? I'm giving you a C+, because CJ. That being said, I think we can all agree that CJ Beathard is not the answer at franchise quarterback. So the 49ers went ahead and made an awesome trade, and they get an A for that one, to bring in somebody that could be with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy has yet to play in a 49ers uniform, and it will probably be a beat before he does, but the potential is there. So, you know what the 49ers get for that one? They get a J. Jimmy. All right, that brings me to my last category on offense, and that is coaching. Kyle Shanahan is doing double duty as a head coach and an offensive coordinator, and he has had to deal with a lot. He has had to deal with like a gajillion injuries. He's had to deal with some very young players, young talent, new roster, new system, yada, yada, yada. So I am going to give Kyle Shanahan a B. And that B is because I can see his vision and I can see what this offense could be. Also, what can I say? I really like Kyle and I love listening to him talk about football. All right, the offense took a lot of time, so I'm breaking this report card up. Join me tomorrow for defense and special teams. Go Niners!
Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at 49ers Fangirl.